know what I'm saying? So, all right. Without further ado, we're going to start this Babygirl discussion and panel. So, for those that do not know, I am Babygirl. I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas. I've been in the hip hop scene and culture for about 26 years, give or take. Also raised 2 children. Graduated, went to college. Damn, I did that through hip hop, for real. It has given me a new life of determination and also structure in my life, coming from the hood, being poor. And I found something that saved me and gave me so much more to look forward to. So just a little introduction of who I am. Also, you can follow us at Babygirl City. That is my organization. We are actually 10 years in Babygirl City. So shout out to all the women that have helped build that specific platform, because there's been so many that have helped us. So I just want to shout out to them. Also, I kind of wrote down some words that I feel like it's really important that I share with everyone, because it's from the heart, but I don't want to mess it up either at the same time. I think it's really valid, very important to make sure that we use this platform as much as we possibly can right now in this moment, because it's a moment that's given to us from so many women that have worked very hard to play a huge role and leaving stepping stones and a huge platform for us to be here right now. Okay, so just bear with me. Hopefully I didn't spell out the wrong words out of place. I do that sometimes. So, what are women doing right now? Women are joining forces. Women are committed to creating not only for themselves, but for the next generation, and creating safe spaces. Uniting their voices and have become more forces to be reckoned with. If it wasn't for a lot of these B-girls 15, 20, 30 years ago, we could not be standing here today, leading other women that matter just as much as the next. Seats are opening up for the unheard, and for, of course, the people that have played a huge part in our history. So yes, that's what women are doing. We're truly showcasing what unity means in hip hop and prevailing. Would it stop here to me right now to tell you? Hell no, it ain't going nowhere. We're here to take a stand, we're here to join forces, we're here to do our thing, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This is something that is a job in its own, and it's a job that will never stop on what we're trying to build for other girls in the coming years. So, I want to give love to the women that have opened their homes, the older generation. I was able to come here a couple of years ago, and if it wasn't for Rockefeller, for me sitting and her inviting me into her home and giving me, lessons, stories, history. Not only her, I've had Honey Rockwell at my home, also Asia One. These are women that I look up to. So what I've done for these last couple of years is listen. That's what we need to do, a lot more listening. And then really defining what in ourselves, what is it that we want to do and what path that we want to take. So that way, at the end of the day, we're dots connecting, and we're always going to be that. So we just need to make sure that we send love, show love, and mad respect to those women that have allowed us to be here today. So big ups to the OGs and to all the ladies that are going to continue this journey. And we hope that after doing this today, that you take that stride on yourselves and want to commit to this platform. We need more leaders. We need more women in the background, coming to the forefront and leading these next girls. We have been a small number in the U.S., and that needs to stop. It's time for us to just keep it pushing, keep it moving, and get other leaders out there that want to put that work into their communities. And it starts with all you girls out there listening, all you out here, doing, and these amazing women. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you your hometown sheroes. We got Babygirl Mantis in the building, y'all. Please make some noise for her. We got Babygirl BongoRock, y'all. Please show some love. Also from the NY, we got Babygirl Sunny. Make some noise. And last but not least, from Florida, we got our girl Naty in the building, y'all. So we obviously can't start, from the future. We have to always start backwards. It's important to make sure that we figure how we can figure those determinations for the future. So what I would like to do first, I think it's really important, right? We're rooted in something, we come from something. So what I'd like to do is start what we call, we've seen this panel in different Red Bull discussions as well. We call that my hip hop story. And it's just a connecting story that allows you to tell us how you found hip hop, how you found breaking, where you resided, who you were, who you see from your elders that allowed you to feel this moment that where you're at and all the work that you put into. So, Babygirl Mantis, tell us a little bit about your hip hop story.
So, can you hear me just now?
Little louder.
Is this better? Yeah. So I was raised in Brooklyn. I'm from New York, and I started out doing other styles of dance, and slowly, growing up, being in New York, you can't live in New York and not see breaking. And so here and there, from when I was like a teenager all the way to my 20s, I was introduced to breaking. I had friends who were breaking. And eventually, I had some friends who introduced me to Rock and Quick. And my friend Ali, shout out to Ali because he brought me to the door where Rock and Quick were teaching. And by that time, I was already breaking for maybe like 2-3 years, and I was with a little crew. Shout out to Lito and Lethal Weapons and all the people who are in that crew with me and helped me grow. And so when I met Rock and Quick, I was still in school. I was going out of school in college, and I went to that practice a few times. And then I left for a little bit. And then when I came back, I really started training with them. And I was at this point in school where it was like, I gotta either keep going with breaking or stop and do this other thing. And I was like, no, I gotta keep breaking because I could see how good I was getting and how great the training was with Rock and Quick and all the stuff that they were teaching. Like I remember being at the door and seeing Quick sitting down with a whole group of guys just sitting in front of him.
Yeah, and the Wi-Fi was bad too.
History. Yeah, and I was like, I never seen this with anywhere else.
Make it look
So
straight.
I gotta be here because
Yeah,
it's
we
where
might use this
I'm gonna
footage
learn.
later.
And so that was it. And I've been training with them since 2012, 2013. And there it is. And here I am because of them and all the people I met through them. And yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, give it up to that.
How you doing? Good.
BongoRock.
I talked to Min. Min invited me to Orlando. Oh, nice. Yeah, cool.
I just want to say how happy I am.
How's your channel?
Pretty good.
Growing?
Growing.
Yeah, just my point of being back at event. Okay.
So
I was over at Mantis
it all
event.
started
Yeah, I
in
saw that.
New York City.
Yo, make sure.
Um,
I think it's the most important right now for you to grow your channel.
It's all
Yeah,
around
for
here.
sure. Right. Yeah,
Just
just,
music, my dad's a DJ.
like, there's going to be a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
Apart from,
Yeah. It's a funny story that I tell people when they ask me about how I started.
I heard about your secret project.
My grandparents grew up in, I grew up in grandparents lived in projects, and it was always this story about how my mom would babysit Kid Freeze. And I had met Kid Freeze years later in my journey. Like, yo, my mom used to babysit. He's like, oh my God, your mom. And it just goes on and on. So I feel like it was my journey to find where I was in hip hop, but it was always there around me. Went to high school, I'm bound, and then just started meeting my crew, and it's just been moving forward since then. I got some things, and at the time, we're talking like 98, 99, early 2000. We were having our own journey, finding hip hop ourselves, finding jams, finding other crews, finding, meeting pioneers, meeting rock, Quick, King of Rock. Like, I'm gonna forget names, but like, it was a dope journey finding our hip hop, and I'm always dear to my heart. Right now, JP is my husband, we have 2 daughters, we're still very much a hip hop couple, and I think that's pretty much it. There's a lot of my story that I'm missing out on here, but I've been in this scene for a while, and I don't plan on going.
Miss Sunny, let us know, Mom.
Hi. So my story of breaking started pretty close to the people. I actually was born in Tennessee, raised in Kentucky.
20, quit, went to college, kind of was like lost. May or may not have been drunk, walking around outside and run across like some people drinking at midnight. And I was like, oh, cool. What's this? I had to break in my life before that. My little brother watched like this YouTube video with these Korean people doing all this crazy power. And me being Jewish at the time, I was like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. You know? I didn't really think much of it. And like here I am, this is like half of my life. You know, like I work with the other half. So it's kind of funny how that's kind of come back around. But yeah, so like the people who were dancing super late at night in the middle of campus, like, hey, like, why don't you come through to my class? And they taught actually like a popping class, just terrible at, still terrible at. And they afterwards were like, oh, you're a genius, like, try this, try that. And I tried a bunch of stuff, and I was like, this is amazing, I love it. And then that's kind of and so I've been doing it ever since. And I started dancing in Philly, so the people around me, I think, are very different from the people here. And it was like very steeply rooted in like, you know, it was all about history, community, and then there was like back then. So being here and like working with that always kind of funny how that comes back. But yeah, I mean, like I was just kind of inspired by the people who were in the community. I didn't watch a lot, and I still don't watch a lot of YouTube. So I'm just really inspired by the people who were around. So back then it was like Rap Styles, Love Flake, 360, you know, those people kind of all inspired me. I watched like a couple of videos here and there. One, Taya, yeah. So back then I used to watch a couple people here and there, but yeah, I just did that for a while.
Hey, give it up, y'all. Please snag your life. Let us know about your hip hop story, Mom.
First of all, thank you for having me. So I'm actually from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. I actually live in Gainesville, which is about an hour north of Orlando. So my story actually begins back in 2002, 2001, when I met my husband, Ray Guns, and he was the one that introduced breaking to me. And my journey has always been on and off because in 2003, I had my daughter, Izzy. So I had to balance, you know, being a mother, and also I was a full-time student. And, you know, I always wanted to be a part of the community, but I didn't know how because I physically wasn't able to do that. So then I actually found the Hip Hop Collective at the University of Florida. And I feel like I have different skills to offer this community. Yes, I love to dance. Wasn't the best at it, but I felt like my other skill sets, I was able to contribute towards it. So I became involved with Hip Hop Collective as treasurer, and back in 2008, 2009, I did Icing on the Break, Soul Cypher, which are staple events in Florida. And that's how I was actually introduced to my mentor, the late great X1. So going forward, after I graduated and, you know, got my career at UF as a biological scientist, I was like, I have more time, and I was able to commit to training. So in 2014, I was like, all right, I'm going all in, and I traveled everywhere, battled everywhere, you know, just really put myself out there. And again, I was like, I feel like my skill set was more behind the scenes, and that's where I felt my strengths were to give back to the community. So that same year, I co-founded Charlotte Productions and hosted the event Temple Rock and Legendary Jam, and did a freestyle session Florida qualifiers. And just really wanted to create a platform and opportunity to ladies that I felt like, you know, had trained more and physically more capable of doing it than I could. So yeah, so now we're 2021 and I'm still doing these events and very happy and honored to be able to provide this platform.
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. I love that. I think I want specifically to have Naty on here because there, again, when I meant like dot connectors, there are so many people that are in the background that allow and help build our community from what it is today. Also myself, like I've dealt with injury for 7 years. I have a torn ACL, 2 torn meniscus in both my knees, and I can't dance like I want to. I wish I could, and I think I'll get there one day. I finally got full coverage, so we might see a doctor later this year. So I still want it. When you're a big red heart, like it's just there. But also just like Naty, like I can't do these specific things physically, unfortunately. So what's the next best thing? It's to open doors and lead the way and share the platform and definitely get women on here. Like these specific women are organically, literally happen. I met BongoRock just a couple years ago because she came to. I invited her out to Babygirl City, and I hadn't heard of her, but I saw footage of her. I'm from Texas, and I didn't get to travel growing up. Through the years, I had my children too at a young age, 16 and 18, and so my priority was to them and make sure I raised men throughout the years. I supported so many events and whatnot, and I'm a huge supporter. And anybody back home will tell you I've been to every single jam around Texas, and I would be a hardcore supporter and hopefully these next future years with so many other events. But when I saw her footage, I was like, why don't I know her? Why didn't I see her? Why isn't she out there? Why, what I'm saying? Like there's this why is that, and I just was like. So given the opportunity, here we are today, and I'm like, you gotta be on this panel because you're sick as fuck. And you did some things, and you through it also you're raising your kids, you're still being a wife. These are things that are hard to balance, and I think it's a huge issue we have within our bigger community, because we do have so many things. Also just going to school full time, working full time, and seeing, making sure that we still lay it on the floor at the end of the day, So I think this panel specifically is so dope because you're obviously showcasing your strengths outside of that. And that's why we call this part, like what I named it was like the breaks, the Prevail women, because you are prevailing even though we have been behind the scenes or you didn't know who we were coming up in these specific areas, So I have some questions we have put down. Don't be scared to talk to them. And then in a little while, we'll definitely open up to the floor after you hear some of these stories that you have questions too. So, first question I'm going to start with, and we'll just start from this way down. Babygirls in the culture. How is it that you perceived through your eyes from then to now? How is this perceived to you, the Babygirls?
Well, I gotta say from because I've been doing a lot of interviews where I was putting on pause for a little bit. And speaking of a lot of the Babygirls from before when I started, there was always a lot of beef, and B-boys were always trying to put B-girls against each other. And I think now, I know Bonnie can tell me that's true. And I remember being at jams when I first started, and people would come up to me and be like, "You need to call her out." I was like, "Why? I don't even know her. What?" Just want to Cypher, leave me alone. And now I think it's not the case. I mean, I'm sure there's still, guys that are going to be like, "Yo, battle." But I think there's a lot more unity. I mean, I see the level is crazy. I know I was just watching the battles that just happened a few days ago, and my mind was blown, and I was super inspired. I was like, damn, I'm gonna go practice right now. So that's just the first thing that comes to mind. It's just like, unity and just like sticking together and all these kind of things. And I feel like there's a lot more women who are judging now, a lot more women who are hosting and throwing events, and I think it's just it's gonna keep snowballing.
Yeah, no doubt. Miss Bongo.
Everything she said. I agree 100% with her. Like, I was super competitive. There wasn't a girl that I would battle or battle me, But now I think that there's more platforms for girls to excel. Like there's these Cyphers that they're getting invited to. There's the prizes, and so it's more supportive now. Everybody wants to see everybody win mostly, you know. Well, back then it was like, you know, the Cypher, who you battling, getting your street cred, you know, like your props in the Cypher, because, you know, that was it. You know what I mean? Like, there was a time where I was traveling, Mega, she was my partner for a time, and there was more BongoRock battles. I think it went to this 2-on-2. Pro-Am started having like a BongoRock battle that I had entered. So there were definitely opportunities to enter jams. So, but it, again, was super competitive, and girls were your rival. You see that it's like girls and battle her, you know, and kind of took it personal sometimes, you know, when you didn't have to, you know what I mean? Because we were just on the same wave. We wanted to do the same thing and to see each other and just be on, you know, like, just, you know. But, you know, I love where it is now. You know, I love that there's this sisterhood and also this respect of the scene for the females and as a whole, you know, and I take it. I wish I was in my prime this year, you know what I'm saying, at this time. But the things that we didn't have back then, you know, gave me the experience and made me good, and I think it's great.
I think it gave us fire to keep being hungry though, those things, you know, that made us stronger, even though that's what was happening. Now we think about it like, that's wow. But honestly, it gave me the fire, yeah. Like, it's the same thing back home. It was like, I'm pretty much the longest running B-girl in Texas, and I mean, I got comfortable. Let's face it, you get comfortable because there's no other B-girls, and then when you see one coming up in the room, I'm like, oh, yeah, I gotta get all my stuff right now, you know what I'm saying? So it also was good, and it was a good thing. I can't even say it was a bad thing. It was a good thing, you know, other than the unity part we didn't have there at that time, you know. But here we are now, all the time, right? Yeah, Sunny.
So everything they said. I mean, seriously though, actually, I haven't been dancing that long. I started in like 2008. So I feel like I used to into the industry and didn't really know as much about like the B-girl community. And then me being kind of sheltered and not much able to do that. But yeah, I mean, for sure, I definitely sense this change in like the community of women. I feel like back then it was a little bit more aggressive and more like you as opposed to like let's lift each other up. And there's nothing wrong with like healthy competition, but like me being super shy, that just scared me a lot. And like I was scared of everybody when I started dancing. So I did say hi to everybody listening. That's the reason why. And so like these like aggressive B-girls would like intimidate me so much. Which, I mean, now it's like, it's a little different and the competition level has changed and I think mentalities have changed. And like, especially with the Olympics and B-girls being included as their own category, I think things are just gonna, like, they're just completely like upending. Now our OBC one has a B-girl category, which is like 2018, you know, so like this is all really new and I think watching and being part of this as it's like changing and like really pushing equality between gender equality and working is really awesome. I will say when I started out, that whole like dance against that B-boy right there, I was like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna dance against that B-boy, and I'm gonna enter every single B-boy battle, and I'm not gonna enter a single B-girl battle because no, you know, and like that's really changed because the level has just changed and the mentality has changed across the board. So I think it's been really cool to be a part of that. Just years and years now.
I think that's dope that you brought that up though. Like, I think a lot of us in the scene go through assumption. We assume, oh, she's not talking to me, so she's me mugging me. And that's where a lot of like that problem comes into play because we don't even realize that a lot of people have issues pertaining to being like introverts or, you know, there's a lot of like B-boys back home that I'm like, you just don't know him because you don't know that he deals with depression or he's an introvert and he actually is cool as hell or she's cool as hell, but it's like, we perceive a certain way or we think in our head an assumption, you know. So I think that's really dope that you brought that up, you know, that, and that's a lot of part of, I feel like why, you know, when I walk into an event, I just smile, so you know, like I may have tattoos in the little, you know, hood, but I'm lovely as hell. I promise. Naty, let's go with you, mama.
So yeah, all of the above.
But yeah, honestly, I think for me, just seeing all the different roles, you know, within the community and seeing females represent as DJs, hosts, you know, judges, all of that, you know, and just seeing the, you know, equality behind, you know, the brackets, even that, you know, Rebel is doing, and, you know, having people to represent equally as B-boys, I think, you know, that's what's made the biggest impact for me. You know, I relate to Sunny a lot, where I'm extremely shy, which is why I stay behind the scenes. And this is really out of my comfort zone. But I feel like breaking has really helped me bring, you know, more of myself out. You know, initially when I first started, I was strictly like, okay, I'm only doing B-girl battles because I only feel comfortable battling against girls. You know, but eventually, as I got more comfortable with myself, I realized, like, hey, like, I'm actually capable of battling against B-boys, you know, and transitioned through there, and, you know, built my confidence physically, mentally, and yeah, so yeah, just really excited to see, you know, what the future holds for all of women.
So y'all give it up for that specific question and all those answers. Thank you. Next question, ladies. You're on the Price is Right. What advice would you give the younger generation or a younger version of yourself on pushing through the years and maintaining longevity?
I think immediately of injuries. And I wish that when I first started, I knew that I should have been going to the gym and lifting weights. Because that would have helped me a lot. And I'm sure there are people that told me, but you know, sometimes when you're young, you hear people and you're like, but I also hear, I've had conversations with women that have started breaking, and they're afraid of muscles. Like they're afraid that they're gonna start looking like brolic bodybuilders with no bones. And I have to say, and that's not like, it's funny, but that's real. Girls are afraid of looking brolic, and I would say don't be afraid because you're not gonna get that big. But you need to be strong because those muscles are gonna help you.
Bongo.
I was talking to Jigs about this last night. We were going through the questions and took it right out of my mind. Like I cannot stress enough how, like, the time that I came up, there wasn't as much social platforms where people were talking about stuff right here on your phone, you know. So I look back and think about my process in learning how to do windmills, and I cringe, like how much I messed up my back, my hip, my shoulder. I wish that somebody had put me on to just conditioning, core, and strength, and, you know, because that catches up to you, you know, and you feel good. I think second thing that I would say, and I think just not to take things personal when it comes to the battling, you know what I mean? Like we're all connected through this hip hop thing, you know what I mean? Everybody loves to dance. That's there. They're doing their training. They're on the same but different, you know. So I wouldn't take it personal. I have my crew, and I'm proud to say that my crew and I are still pretty tight all these years, and my brothers and sisters. But you know, sometimes people grow apart, and sometimes you cross paths with people that you just like. I wouldn't hold on to that too long. You know, I just like, this is the culture. Keep the culture positive and do it for the love that you have for it.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Sunny.
So I feel like I have two answers. One on longevity, same exact thing that they said here. Cross training is extremely important. And I found myself when I started dancing, I would tell myself, don't be so crazy and don't post so many times, and then don't try 100 flares in a day. It's stupid. And I do that every day. But yeah, I mean, cross training and mixing breaking with other activities, whether it be like I do yoga and then I do like workouts at home, specifically bar and the high intensity stuff. I actually don't go to the gym on the weights. I am one of those girls that gets like pretty big, so I don't touch heavy weights. I just do like literally 2 to 5 pounds at home. Just like high rep. I mean, I don't mind some muscle, but like, so, you know, it is what it is. I'm fine with
You
it.
might be the exception.
I can see my exceptions.
I mean, you do all that stuff you need to do, right? So you got those double.
Yes, that's true. So that's the answer on longevity. But I think generally with cooking and it being like still very male dominated dance, I mean this is the same for women and for men, but I think specifically for women who dance, it's difficult to stick with it because you're told so many things. You need to dance this way, you need to be this way, you need to have this style, you need to move this way, have this attitude, you need to be aggressive. Like that's one thing I've been told my whole life. Breaking, like, you're not aggressive enough in battle. I'm like, so what? You know, I'm like, I'm dancing because I want to dance and because I love dancing. You can't tell me what to do. And I think if you allow people to tell you what you need to do, you're not going to be happy because you should be dancing for yourself and finding what it is that you want out of the dance. So I always kind of tell people, like, yeah, listen to people, but with a grain of salt. And if it's not making you happy, figure out what you need to listen to or what you need to do. And kind of weed out that negativity because at the end of the day, you have to be happy with what you're doing. Because dance is about like love, you know, and being happy. Like dancing makes me super happy, which is why I'm constantly smiling when I dance and constantly told I'm not aggressive enough. But you know what? Like that's how I am. That's who I am and how I feel. And I think that everyone should be able to dance, you know, how I feel. So I always kind of push people to like express yourself, find yourself. And listen to people, and I'm not saying like don't listen to everybody, but you know, figure out what it is that you want out of the dance and pursue that.
Dope, I think that's an amazing answer. Yeah, I think that's half of our ride coming up, especially in the like mid-90s and the year like 2000s. Like you had to be aggressive. You had to, I even say that sometimes too, still to like my crew, like you're smiling too much. Like it's just an old habit to say specific things because you know that's just kind of how we do it. Is we need that for you to emphasize that to everyone that's listening is so important. Like, do it because you want to. What do you feel about like the foundation? Like people definitely need to. Would you agree that people need to obviously get the foundation, get the fundamentals, you know, things like that as well? I just want to touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, so starting dancing in Philly, where it was, you know, like there is a foundation, just like there is with Hollywood's foundation, there's technique. With breaking, I think it's the same. I don't think you can just go willy-nilly at that point if you're just doing whatever you want. You might not be breaking anymore, you're dancing, and that's fine, because that's what you do, you know? But I think that there is a line, and there is kind of a threshold that you have to reach to be like, I'm a breaker, you know? But yeah, I think to each his own. If you don't want to break and you want to just dance, cool. You know, it's up to you.
So, Naty. Yes, girl.
So I have 3 answers for that. The first one is stretch. Yes, I'm telling you, like my knees, my entire body is paying for it now because I never stretch. So physically, that's one piece of advice I would give to people is, you know, definitely take care of your body, stretch. I did a lot of cardio. Actually, Max was the one that told me like, okay, you need to supplement your routine with drills. I'm like, oh gosh, time to die. But it helped me a lot. So I definitely emphasize stretching and really taking care of your body. The second thing is what Sunny said. It's, you know, not letting someone shape who you are, you know, when it comes to breaking. You know, I think for me, I had a lot of male mentors that were like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. You know, I feel like I was molded into something based off someone else's, you know, vision. You know, so if I could go back in time, I feel like I would want to express myself more. And then the last thing too is educate yourself. I feel like a big thing that we're missing is people
doing the research, learning about your own community, learning about even nationally things, do the research, do your homework, build your community, talk to, the OGs in your community, and yeah.
Yes, great answer. Y'all give it up with that, y'all. All right, let's see here. I have one last question just from the specific ones that I wrote down, and then we can open up the floor to a few questions. This is more like near future. The next 5 years, what type of involvement do you hope to see more of? And with that, how do you think these communities can not only, how can that help build them up? What advice would you give them to help build their communities up more? I think we're not so the first part was, in the next 5 years, what type of involvement do you hope to see the B-Girls? And then the second part of that, how can these communities build up their B-Girls in the scene?
Well, the first thing I want to say with that is I connected to something I said earlier was about more B-Girls judging and hosting events and stuff like that. We need to see more of that, more than just one B-Girl on a judging panel, but like judging panels are all females in a regular jam, not just a B-Girl battle. And yeah, just more women involved hosting and that kind of thing. In terms of getting more women involved, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just up to the ladies. I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. Yeah.
So in the next 5 years, can you repeat the question?
What do you hope to see within the next 5 years?
Within the B-Girls.
B-Girls, yes. Or even just the hip-hop culture as a whole.
I mean, I'd love to see the scene in New York be what it was maybe 8-10 years ago, maybe even 5-6 years ago. That would be great. Pandemic, stuff happens. But as far as B-Girls, I would really personally love to figure out how even my daughters don't want to do it. But come on. I'm still trying to figure out how to, grab these young girls and want them to be interested. I feel like the inclusion of the breaking in the Olympics might start something within the younger community, and then that would be an opportunity for people who have the education to lead them the right way. Right? And then there was a second part to that question. The B-Girl scene.
How do you feel like, we kind of just answered it, we really don't really know 100%, but I think you bring up the Olympics is going to allow it, because if we didn't see B Street when we were young, kids, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't have been able to that broad or that level, and see what I see in my own neighborhood. That movie was all my hood. That was, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I mean, in the next 5 years, hopefully there's a dojo in every borough, and people are just training and doing their cardio, doing their core, and their strength training, and eating the right stuff, and uplifting, our little dojo, not only in the breaking and in the scene, but in their future, whatever they're going to be, because we invest so much time into breaking and getting our skill level up that sometimes you kind of, we go up, right? And so just being that type of support as a culture, in the whole scene, to grow, not just as dancers, but
yes. People. And to add to that, I got a certification. I got my GED that young, because I had my kids in that grade, so I had my GED, and then I took advantage of a program back home. This is called YA. I was in AmeriCorps. I got a scholarship, and went to school for nursing. It was this 9-month program, turned into 14 years later, and through all of those times that I was working as a nurse, I was able to fund our own little jams back home. So I just kind of want to answer that question. Don't stop going to school. Don't stop getting your certifications. Don't stop like educating yourself and these things. I think there's a lot of what we don't talk about, you know, the business aspects of that. You know, like Babygirl, like she's a realtor, and like, you know what I mean? Like you still gotta make money, you know, you still gotta make money, support yourself, but if this is something you want to do in the game and you want to help support it, like how do we do that? Not always do we, you know, get a hand in certain things. So, you know, I've been blessed and lucky to be able to work with Red Bull, and they've supported me for the last 7 years, you know. But even with that, like, they're amazing. They don't question what I want to do. They just see the vision and they're open to it. But at the end of the day, before that, I saved my income tax money for like 2 years just to throw my first big event, which was BongoRock City, and we made sure the first 2 years was free. You know, like if I could go back to that, that's what I want to go back to, like a free jam. You know, but yeah, just keep on working, like make that money, and sometimes you gotta fund your own shit. You know, but it's just, you know, where your heart at, your passion's at with that, and you know, with those goals. I've hit every goal that I want to hit. And I got some more about to come up, so we're gonna keep that going. Sunny.
I think over the next 5 years, like internationally, I think the Prevail scenes are already seeing it like really explode, and there are a lot of girls all over the world that are really leveling up. So I'm kind of gonna echo what you just said about like I want to see New York come back up. It's like right after New York's peak, and maybe those are the after. And like, I've only seen it kind of like, honestly, it's like Wimbledon and it's not tough for people in the community. So I would love to see that grow. Honestly, how that's going to happen, I'm not too sure. But I think it would be really cool if that's something that could happen, and like, if, you know, we all can be part of that. I think
You hear that, Ripple?
I think another thing I really like to see, and this is a conversation I've had with other women, is as a B-girl, it's harder to make a living off of breaking. I work full-time outside of breaking. Most people I know do, but like I was in this like kind of community council thing recently, and like all the guys are full-time workers, and all the girls are working full-time jobs outside of it. And all of us are like, all the girls are full-time workers too, but and yeah, just like that stark difference between the girls and the guys in the community, which is like so obvious. You know, there'd be random meetings and all the guys would be like, okay, and we're just like, no, we don't work all day long. Can we have a 10 o'clock? You know? So yeah, I think that it would be, and I think the Olympics is going to help with this, and like really opening doors, opening opportunities, getting this really breaking, and kind of making this potentially more viable for women, so that they really can focus the time and energy into breaking that they want, and give back to the community. I think that would be awesome, and kind of help to kind of kickstart the growth around the world, but you know, specifically at the community.
Beautiful. Yeah. Gotta make that happen. Naty.
So aside from, you know, a rise in numbers of representation for the girls, I definitely would love to see maybe more resources for women as well. You know, easy access for ladies, you know, to know where can they go for, you know, like training, or like where events are at, you know, different levels of events for them to enter and slowly progress to, you know, higher platform events. So I think that would be cool to have some kind of resource for women. Like, for example, you know, like the big boy spot, I would be cool to see, like, you know, something available specifically for women. Then the other thing is like educating them, you know, and teaching them about sustainability, and you know, of course, the education is important. You know, for me, yes, it was a struggle to balance both going to, you know, university and, you know, being a new girl, but I was able to find different roles to fulfill, you know, being a part of that community. So like I said, you know, being a promoter doing jams, I was able to fulfill that part of the community.
I think just to write a bit on that, I think collaborations are very important. Like me and Naty have done qualifiers with each other. I've done qualifiers with BongoRock, Babygirl, did collaborations with Mexico and Equal City. No, I'm sorry, Babygirl was the event. So shout out to her. And then just random, people that have hit me up that was like, hey, we're doing a jam out here. And sometimes it's like a small jam, and I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm all about doing the jams, and like, that's how I started doing the jams. So collaborations, I think, is so important. So you have events out there, and you see these bigger platforms. Like I haven't been able to do big collaborations with big events, which I'm fine with because I do background work, not the forefront in these big events, So, but I think collaborations are really important. Like, let's do a big city NYC. What's up? Like, let's do something. You ladies, like, I'm so down. Like, who wants to see that? I don't want to see that. So thank you so much. Some of my questions that I had specifically on here, but I would like to open up the floor with 1 or 2 questions. And please don't go anywhere because we have our girl Sunny doing a free workshop for everyone that is here. So we're gonna get that going too. Yeah, so too. Any questions? Here we go. I got one.
Peace. First of all, thank you for just answering and being here today and representing. That's the first shot. It's always a good thing to see representation. My question is, with hip-hop culture being minority-driven, minority-created, and in the current climate of kind of what's happening in the world today, along with what potentially could happen in the future, do you all see a time where there will be an elimination of B-girl battles and B-boy battles and just being breaking battles, potentially in the future? Do you all see that happening? I personally think that would be a great thing, something that look at the future of our culture. And I'm just curious to know what you thought about that.
I gotta say the battles recently that I saw, the level of views is like I can't even say anything about it. And I was like, wow. But yeah, I was thinking that at the rate that it's going, especially with the young girls, like there's so many girls that are, I don't know, like 8, 10, even younger, doing like multiple air players into, I don't even know what those suits, you know what I mean. You look at them online and there's YouTube videos and Instagrams and you're like, so yes, I definitely think it's going that way. Yeah, I think that next generation is gonna come up and they're gonna be, it's a wrap.
I kind of have mixed feelings on both, coming up, I did enter the river beaver house, I experienced that. Like she said, maybe it's safer to be separated because the girls is coming up. But I think B-girl battles give girls that maybe aren't on the level of competition to compete with guys, to showcase themselves and to learn and to experience competition. So that being said, I think it shouldn't be eliminated completely, but I would encourage more competitions to not just be B-girl and boy, and there should just be one battle that everybody can come, you're out there, but I think that should also be part of the scene.
I'll make one thing clear. B-girl City was never to be, it's just for the B-girls. Like, it was just a place to call their home and to work hard for something that they wanted to work hard for. It was just a platform to be created in the sense that, there's this huge B-girl event. I want to train for that. It was never to necessarily separate anything. It was just for us females to have something to call our home. Any other questions?
What's up, guys?
Yo.
So you guys, 3 of you I know are New York City community leaders. Now this is just me asking because I'm part of the community as well. What can we do together or separately to uplift the scene? New York City, I mean.
Support.
support each other's events. Like it's whack when you put all this energy and time and money and then people just don't come and support. I mean, I know life, sometimes you have to work, sometimes you can't make it, but I think that would be the starting point. Just support each other's events.
I think some of that also has to do sometimes with beef. Like sometimes people like, oh, I don't like that person. I don't go support their thing. And it's kind of whack because, you're always going to have beef with somebody. It doesn't mean that I want to hang out with them. You just want support because, all those, there are going to be moments because people aren't going to them.
Okay, question. Also, this is not my world, so I'm really trying not to sound like an asshole. Then, going off of your question and having 7 battles versus Battles United, do you feel like it is a level playing ground, just knowing that men's and women's bodies are just built very differently? Does that make sense? Like, yes, no,
Yeah. So this is something I actually talk about sometimes. Power moves were invented by males with the male anatomy, and the center of gravity for women is really different. And so not only is the center of gravity different, but the way we build muscle is different. Just like our bodies are built, like men build muscle faster, they keep it faster. I think they're built a little better for the explosive movements that breaking requires. And so in some ways, no, it's not necessarily equal because just anatomically, physically, we're very different. But breaking isn't just about power, and there's style, and there's flavor, there's the dance, there's the art, there's the music. There's so many other elements that women do and can excel where that body doesn't get in the way. And so you'll actually see with a lot of people in the community that they do tend to veer towards a more style-focused way of dancing, and it's less dynamic. So the ones that are dynamic now, they're actually a lot more, especially like the girls who are starting, because physically they're not as like, I'm not saying off balance, but the way it's distributed differently when you get older as a woman, things change. And so like these young girls with these crazy power moves, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had something like 6. But yes, I mean it's different, but at the same time, I don't think that it's any way dangerous. It's just like a challenge. It's a different kind of challenge that we have to work through. But I think with more women in places that can pass off this knowledge, that have like worked through that like physical difference, and have worked through like what works for their body, and help teach in a way that works for other people's bodies. Like I've had people on modifications and my guys are like, oh, just out here, and I'm like, well, there's something in the way. In the way, it doesn't work that way. So like working through that myself, like, and for other people who have, we can pass that on. And so I think that sharing that information and just knowing that like it's not like this is the difference, and like you can't get past that. Breaking isn't that way. It's like so there's so much freedom and so much creativity in it. You can really find your way, and it may be a different route than everybody else, but you can find what you love.
Two more questions. Are you ready for like?
All right, so some of y'all already answered this earlier, of inclusion of breaking in the 2024 Olympics. Do you guys think like it could be a step forward for hip hop and breaking culture as well as a step backwards?
Well, I definitely think it's going to give breaking a lot more visibility in a certain way. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a big screen, and everyone's going to be seeing it. I think it's going to be up to whoever's interested to either, look for the cultural aspects of breaking, or whether they're going to, just stick to thinking that it's a sport, which is not. So. I agree with you.
I think that for breaking, there's always going to be this community that really pushes the history, the knowledge, the fundamentals, and that's gonna keep that culture alive. And I actually, I think that the breaking in the Olympics is going to definitely push that sport aspect, but I think it's gonna really like dig into the people who want to keep that culture alive. And I think that energy might actually be good for the community. Back in the day, like peace between cities is what made cities amazing. Like that Celebrate New York thing is like it was good in New York was good at the same time. It's like you had that energy, it's like that tension, while it's not always positive, is something that drives a lot of people. So I'm actually curious and interested to see how this turns out, because I think that the people who really want to develop form and dance alive, they're going to make it happen, and it's going to continue. And I don't think we need to worry about that dying, because there are people who are going to just carry that forward, like,
So we're gonna be there.
yeah, so it'll be there. So, and I think in general, like the media exposure is going to be really good for us. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to see where those like two avenues go. And maybe we'll find that like that energy brings it back, and maybe we don't keep pushing that sport so far. Maybe it's going to take a turn and it melts, So, let's see.
Last question.
So my question is kind of piggybacking on the earlier question about how can we build the New York scene. So I'm directing this to you, Naty. Florida is popping right now, and it has been for a while. So what do you attribute the success of the Florida breaking scene? I suspect you might have to do
We're one big happy family.
No, for real though, we support each other a lot, like a lot of the things I learned in regards to support, really comes from, Max, and he was always the person I looked up to when it came to, okay, let's go rent a van, let's go take all these new boys from Orlando, let's go to Miami, you know what I mean? Like, when that kind of got handed down to me in a way, I was like, yeah, like, let's do that. Like, that's the way we unify our state, and even with the event Prevail International, it's a pain to do it every month. It's a lot of work, but it pays off so much. Just to see, these guys, grow and see them go to the next platform, it inspires me and it really pushes me to keep doing it. So, I think just being a unified family is what really, keeps us together. We really got each other's back. I think that's why Florida has a reputation.
So, everyone, I need you to please put your hands together for these ladies. And if I could leave you with anything, the one thing is think about where you want to see yourselves in your community and what you want to build with this culture, whether it's within your community or on a bigger platform. And you see there's women here that are ready to put in some work. And there's so many people probably in your community that would like to work with you, but my daddy always said, closed mouths don't get fed. So make sure y'all start speaking up and really using your voice. So thank you again so much. And let's get it going. Yeah. Thank you.